Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the first round 3 game of the AFLW season, in which West Coast got over the line by 11 points over the Western Bulldogs in what was actually a pretty good game. I'm pretty sure Western Bulldogs were up maybe a goal at quarter time, and then they pretty much didn't score outside of a Blackburn goal late in the fourth quarter. Outside of that, it was pretty much, they got off to, I think, a 13-0 start, and then it was like 32-0 after that, and then they kicked like a little bit of, a couple of points, etc., in the goal to Blackburn, so they really did get dominated after the first sort of 5-10 minutes. But anyway, let's just jump into this game review. As you'll see here, you have the disposals, and then you'll have the quarter-by-quarter stats on another screen here. We'll go through Western Bulldogs first. Pritchard here, 95. She's done really well. After that first bad game, she's had 2 really good games. And I'm pretty sure she's averaging probably somewhere close to about 90 or 96 or so. Blackburn with an 83 was kind of disappointing in this game in particular. She got off to an electric start of a 29, and then 22, 12, and 20. Just couldn't string it together in the subsequent quarters. Had a long time off in the games in general, and she is potentially injured with a left ankle sprain. We'll have to watch the injury report or just initial reports out of that from the Western Bulldogs, because they do have their double. But it did look like it might have just been a stinger in the end, because she was walking relatively unaided she wasn't aided at all, but she was walking relatively well post-game, so it just looked like it might have been a stinger. She didn't have any, from what I could see, any ice on it in particular, so we'll just have to wait and watch and have a lot of, I guess, almost track watchers and stuff like that out for this to see, because she's on her double, and they play, I believe, on the Tuesday, or they play on the Wednesday, but you'll need to know by the Tuesday whether she is fit or not for the double. So that'll be a huge development. Edmund, 67, I'm pretty glad that I got rid of her in the end. She did score pretty well in the second quarter with a 25, but outside of that, she really didn't get going. A 32-point second half. So she ended up on a 67, and I think that's just somewhere where she lands in the end. I think that Borg is taking up too much of the ruck time to really make an impact. To allow Edmonds to make much of an impact, and it's just stuffing it up. Then you go down, and then you really start to lose fancy relevance here. Fitzgerald, 60, Carruthers, 55. She just tackled everything in sight. She gave away 5 free kicks and still made a 55, but just not fancy relevant. Georgia Stathis, I thought, had a really good role. They just didn't bother to kick it round the back for 3 quarters. And other than like a 2-minute swing where she scored, you'll see here, a 2-minute swing, she scored like 15 points then. And then a 2-minute swing where she had, I think, a couple of marks in there as well. She didn't score basically outside of that. So just a really struggle to get the scoring on. Ahrens as well, 40 points on 8 touches, 3 marks, 3 tackles. Gutneck, Smith, Wilcox, Barwick, Gorham, McFarlane, Grant, Bennett, Borg, Berry. Greek's going to be interesting when she gets a midfield role in the future, but because she looks like a tackle king. Just not fancy relevant this year. Hartwig, and then McGee, obviously glad that I got rid of her because she will lose all her value in the end. And then we go to the likes of Drennan here, 134. She was absolutely dominant. I don't think many had her. If we just go here to Drennan here. And as you will see, just an update that I did switch to Hartel because of the teams. And I'm glad that I did, because we'll get to Cleaver in a second. But as you see, Drennan averaging 85. She's done pretty well. I don't think she'll be fantasy relevant, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure what happened in this 34. I have to look at it, but I'm not too sure she'll have any fancy relevance, to be honest with you. But there could be a wild scenario where she is having midfield time, and then you just gun on her, and there could be that scenario, but I don't think there will be. Ella Roberts, 106. I'll have to look at her CBAs to figure out what went on in this game, but again, she had a really good game here. 979k, so averaging 80 for the year. I just don't think she'll be fancy relevant unless because I don't think there's been enough of her. Britain could be one that you also jump on here. She scored an 83. I'd have to look at her role, but if she is one that is scoring, then a defender 502k could be very, very interesting. But yeah, I just don't know. She did have a 75 here, but yeah, man, she just smashed it. And she could definitely be an upgrade on someone, especially with her double coming up. And if she does get midfield time, then she will definitely be a better option than like a Dana Finn or someone like that. And yeah, she could definitely be an option in the double. If you wanted to not necessarily go the midfield upgrade in the double and you wanted to upgrade everywhere else, she could definitely be a target. Lewis Swanson getting back into it, and this is why I'm worried about Drennan and Roberts and Hoskin, is just Swanson looked a lot better in that game. 16, 2 and 4. I know her scoring didn't necessarily line up with something huge, but you can see here, slow start and then really built it in the second and third and then nothing in the last, which was a little bit disappointing. But yeah, she definitely did start really well, and did her job. Gibson, 62. She ended up on the 62 after all that, which was absolutely crazy that she did. She had a 46-point second half, which was absolutely ridiculous. On 7 touches, she gets to a 62. Absolutely ridiculous. Thomas here, 61. I knew that I said 60 to 80, and I thought when she got to 35 at three-quarter time, being on 59 after a 35-point third quarter, that she would surely clock the 60 to 80 range, maybe even go over that. With the way that she was playing, but yeah, just didn't get involved in the last quarter. 18, 1-1, 4 free kicks, 4, 95% time on ground, 61. I don't think she had many kickouts, to be honest with you. But yeah, she had maybe 2 or 3. So when West Coast played, I think the thing is, when West Coast played better opposition, she will score more. It's just that they played such a horrific opposition that they kicked 3 goals, 3. They only had 6 shots. She didn't have enough to do. So, when they play better opposition, which I'm pretty sure they do when they double, I expect her to have maybe 5, 6, 7 kick-ins rather than the 1 or 2 that she had, and that just is more points generated, and there'll be a lot more hat kicks from her. Bushby, Wakeford, Lakay, Smith, Weston, Dionato basically kicked the sealer, and she had in the end, she was on 1 touch with about 4 minutes to go in the game, and then she's had like 4 touches in the last quarter. You can see here Dionato, 27 points in the last quarter, and I'm pretty sure she was on 28 maybe when she kicked the goal. So she scored 20 before she kicked the goal, so she scored 20 points in the last 4 minutes of the game. Hoskin as well, just really need to probably jump out of her now. Her role isn't that conducive for scoring. She doesn't get enough time. Schilling had a really good start and then just did nothing. Baker was on Blackburn, and she did a really good job quelling her. I think she had 7 or so tackles. Yeah, 7 tackles, 7 touches. She did really well in quelling Blackburn, and that's probably the issue, is that you've just got a lot of girls that don't really tackle, don't really get high possession numbers, that can probably be easily tagged out of scoring a lot. So especially Blackburn in a team that has no one else there around her, she isn't necessarily the greatest tackler, so that's something that you probably have to remember for next year. Certainly something that I'll remember for next year. Wakeford going over, Wrench, and then Cleaver here, 14. She's not going to make any cash, so there was probably no point for anyone going Cleaver. I think Hartell's was the best bet, and it's locked in now for me anyway. But I think Hartell was the best bet, or just going down to a Vukic and hoping she had a 50-pointer and gain some cash there so that you have more cash on hand. And then Franklin here with a 6, and that's why you don't go Franklin, because she was one of the forwards, I'm pretty sure, and at 328k, and is now probably going to lose all cash because she put up a 6. So yeah, that's why you don't go for those sort of players that don't have a role, because they really don't score. Weston was another one that was sort of thought about a little bit. She tackled a freakish amount of times. She had 32 in the first though, and then ended up on a 51. So that is a role that's very, very changeable. Or just the scoring is very, very up and down, I should say. But anyway, that is the video there going through the first game of the round between the Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles. And then, obviously you'll have the other video today, which will be the men's tipping, which will probably only be a 5 or 8 minute video. It shouldn't be that long. But anyway, you'll have tomorrow as well, you will have the other Brisbane Collingwood game, and then the Sunday you will have what the 3 other games, maybe something like that, or maybe I won't do a video on the Saturday so that I have Monday stuff as well, because Monday I don't have time to record it. So Monday is the Saturday recordings, the Sunday recordings, which is the Saturday games. But anyway, if you did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.